Dear participants, dear organizers, dear Rector Gafurov, I'm pleased to greet you all via this video message at the 6th International Stakheev Readings. After my fruitful visit in June 2013 to your oldest educational institution in Елабуге, I promised to assist in organizing one of the sections of Stakheev Readings with a report coming from the Assembly of European Regions. Thanks to that visit, I had the chance to learn about the dynasty of Елабуге merchants, the Stakheev, who did a lot, not only for Елабуге, but for the entire region. This edition of Stakheev Readings will focus on small cities in Russia, past, present, and future, and I am happy to send you our AER report on interregional cooperation and the examples of RURACT program. As you may know, the Assembly of European Regions, AER, is the largest independent network of regional authorities in wider Europe, bringing together nearly 230 regions from 35 countries, along with 15 interregional organizations. Established in 1985, AER is a forum for interregional cooperation and a lobbyist for regional interest on the European stage. The AER works for a peaceful and prosperous Europe. Our political assembly believes that regions are the optimal institutional actors to build bridges between European and national leaders and the citizens. The link offered by regions reinforces trust and ensures the flow of ideas, enabling peace and prosperity to spread on our continent. In this context, the AER is based on strong values: fairness and solidarity, openness and dialogue, boldness and effectiveness, democracy and transparency. The AER aims at becoming a growth partner for all European regions and at promoting regional issues across Europe. Our organization is offering advice, expertise, information, activities and tools to help regions respond to the challenges they face and share their experiences. Finally, our mission is to support European regions in implementing European interregional cooperation projects. Our new RURACT program is a concrete example of how far regions can get when they cooperate in a strategic, structured, and politically backed manner. Our report looks into the concept of interregional cooperation, its main objectives and achievements, and assesses the possibilities to improve it in the near future. The RURACT program has served as a case study all along this report to illustrate the advantages, shortcomings, and potential of interregional cooperation today. First question now in this report. What is interregional cooperation for the Assembly of European Regions, and how does it work in RURACT? Interregional cooperation is about bridging the gaps created by borders within Europe. The most famous form of interregional cooperation is cross-border cooperation, which allows regions that share a common border but belong to different states to work together and find joint solutions to common problems. But interregional cooperation can also take place among regions that share no border. This can take the form of bilateral cooperation or be multilateral via the participation in Euro-regions or large cooperation areas such as the Atlantic Arc, the Baltic Sea, or the Danube area. Finally, interregional cooperation in the wider sense of the term, as coordinated and supported by the Assembly of European Regions, is also about finding the right partners wherever they are in Europe and cooperating in order to make the best out of complementaries and synergies in common policies. AER regional peer reviews, training academies, RURACT are but a few tools available to the regions that wish to participate in tailor-made cooperation programs. RURACT aims to capitalize on the innovative experiences of European regions and promote the transfer of these practices to other regions. The principle is the following. A group of regions express their needs on one particular topic. For instance, in 2013, rural development. In 2014, it will be youth employment and entrepreneurship. Each of them identifies one best practice in another region and organizes the transfer of this best practice into its own territory. The RURACT program is based on a precise methodology. The technical assistance on the program is provided by the AER Secretariat thanks to a methodological toolbox and the AER expertise in interregional cooperation. This 10-step methodology constitutes the main basis of RURACT. The presence and work of the AER Secretariat guarantees that the methodology is respected and that the project transfer can therefore be labeled as such. Second question in the report: to what extent does interregional cooperation contribute to capacity building, policy improvement and joint resolution of common problems? Interregional cooperation is about learning other ways of thinking, other ways of interacting, other ways of organizing the work. Interregional cooperation is about learning new languages, taking distance with one's own policies and looking at what is being done elsewhere. Interregional cooperation is also about questioning one's policies and looking for innovative solutions. Interregional cooperation allows regional officers to increase their knowledge and bring new ideas back to the regional administration. The AER training academies, the peer reviews, the RURACT program provide regional policy officers with concrete knowledge from the experience of their counterparts in other regions of Europe. The political backing behind the participation in RURACT is absolutely crucial. Indeed, interregional cooperation also aims to make a difference for citizens, which means improving the actual policies of the regions. This means that the outcomes of an interregional cooperation project make no sense unless they translate into clear political guidance. There is no hope of policy improvement if the political level is not involved from the very beginning of the project. The final aim of RURACT and interregional cooperation is to show that if regions get together in a rational and organized way, they can find joint solutions for the problems they share. And it is, of course, very important. Third and last question of this report: what should be improved in European interregional cooperation, and what can be the AER contribution? Well, nowadays, territorial cooperation is a fully fledged objective of the European Union and benefits from a budget of more than 9 billion euros for the 2014-2020 period. Interregional cooperation is therefore institutionalized, largely co-financed, and has become, over the past 20 years, a full part of European regions' international policies. Of course, interregional cooperation sometimes suffers from a lack of strategic thinking and political involvement. We have to admit it. In the context of RURACT and the other AER cooperation programs, the difficulties hindering the optimal implementation of cooperation projects include: firstly, the lack of political involvement in European projects, which makes it almost impossible to then integrate the outcomes into the regional policy-making processes. Secondly, the strict distribution of tasks among regional departments and the use of English only in cooperation projects can also be identified as a cause for the limited dissemination of results within the regional administration. Facing these difficulties, we have designed our cooperation program so as to encourage the participants into involving more diversified stakeholders, linking the project with their regional development strategies and obtain political backing from the beginning of the project. Ladies and gentlemen, to conclude, interregional cooperation is essential to the future of Europe, but it is neither an easy nor an obvious task. Interregional cooperation is an investment in capacity building and learning processes for improving local and regional policies and for finding joint solutions to common problems. Interregional cooperation is the best visa for peace in Europe and shall not be underestimated, above all in times of crisis. Through its cooperation programs, the AER, the Assembly of European Regions, is bringing together stakeholders that may have never met in another context, giving birth to unexpected and very creative partnerships. It is now our task to make sure that these partnerships bring concrete added value for the regional citizens and contributes to building bridges between regions at political, economic, social and human level, hence fostering a common European identity. On behalf of all our Assembly, I wish you a successful event during these Stakheev readings. I would also like to thank warmly Rector Gafurov for his proposal to the Assembly of European Regions to become one of the founders of this conference. The AER is honored to bring its European and regional experience, and we look forward to continue the cooperation with the Kazan Federal University. Thank you very much, and see you very soon.